Hello, myself hrugvi. Today I'm going to speak about the history of philosophy about the Francis Bacon. So he was the one of the most leading figures during the modern era, and he had a great contribution in the natural philosophy and in the modern methodology. And he had a great influence from the time of Renaissance till the time of the early modern era. His philosophy includes the natural philosophy, which is the struggle with the tradition, and the theory of idols. The next is a specific part about the idols. Then there is a matter of theory and the cosmology. First, I'm going to talk about the struggle with the tradition. So Bacon began to struggle with the tradition since early as 1603, and he provides an outline for his new method, like there should be a change in a knowledge system, in studying system, and also in the people's view. And he tried to change this, and he said one thing, that is a discovery of all operations from immortality to the meanest mechanical practice. As we can say, he was actually a complete opposition of the Aristotle, and he provides the outline for a new method and determines that the end of the knowledge was actually the phrase which he invented, the discovery of the all operations. And he introduces this a new systematic structure of the discipline in advancement of the learning. He continues his struggle with the tradition, very first with the classical antiquity, and also rejecting the books of the humanistics, then all of the things which he used to oppose and on the ground, which means the Aristotelians. And he also opposed Plato. And next thing I'm going to talk about the idols. So Bacon had a large contribution in the theory of idols in the natural philosophy, and his doctrine, he had a doctrine in this term known as the idols. So the Bacon's doctrine on idols was not only representing the stage of the history, while the theories of the errors, I mean, not only just discovering these errors, but also functions as an important theoretical element. And according to him, the human mind is not a tabula rasa. You all know what is tabula rasa. And he says that we have to improve our mind, and to free from the we have to free our mind from the idols and all the traditional beliefs, and before we start any knowledge for equation. So basically, idols are the production of a human imagination. It is like caused by a crooked mirror of a human, and thus there are nothing more than untested generations. Idols are basically a human imagination. It is just caused by a crooked image of a human mind, and thus there is nothing more than just untested generalities. uh, there is a contribution of many idols, like idols of the tribe, idols of the cave, idols of the market palace, and idols of the theater. What can we say about idol of the tribes? There are like they have their own origin and the false production and the concepts of the human structure, because the structure of human understanding is like a crooked mirror, so which cause distorted reflections on the various things. Next is the matter of theory and the cosmology. So according to Bacon, a man would be able to explain all his processes in the nature if he could acquire a full insight into the hidden structure of the knowledge and the secret workings, and also the matter. So Bacon conception on the structures in the nature functioning according to his own working method and his own concentrations on the questions that how naturally order is produced, namely by the interplay of matter and the motion. Bacon's cosmological system is a result of a thoughtful experience, like experiments and the speculations, but not proven in very accordance actually in any book or in any material. With his inductive method, I mean, the finest universe and a geocentric plenum, which means that the earth is a passive and consists of the tegmental matter, has introduced many substances, like the substances introduced from the air, which are also a mercury quaternion, then sulfur, and some of the oily substances of sulfur which Bacon introduced. And this is all of his theory of the tegmental matter. Bacon's theory of matter is actually a interaction of gross, then the visible parts of matter, and the invisible material spirits, and both of the which are physically mixed, and the spirits interact with the matter and the means of collocation and other non-mechanical chemicals which were included in this process. Said that vegetables and animals are vital spirits and inanimate objects are the inaugurate spirits, and the small wonder then the Bacon spirits are indispensable for his conception of physiology, and the vital spirits regulate all the vegetative functions of plants and animals.
Hello sir, my name is Aniket Rajput. I am from second group, subgroup first. As my friend Hrugvi explained the starting point of discarded meditations, I would like to introduce my section here. Why the history of philosophy worth studying, the meditation factor. We learn how to read competitive text, how to analyze arguments, how smart people answer complicated questions, how to see things from another vantage. So the next point here, why the history of philosophy worth studying. It includes the humility, and now we thinking that everything contrary to our own ways is ridiculous and irritations, as those who have seen nothing of the world's ordinary do. This is the way that the discarded explain his theory, what we take from granted, how to feel ourselves from dominant interpretation and practices, and depth, how to search for philosophical truth throughout a critical analyzing of argument, as Nicholson says in that section at the decade of 19th century, and the discarded method. He explained the needs for new beginners. It includes imperfections. Imperfection, there is not usually so much perfection in work composed of several parts and produced by various different craftsmen, as in the work of one man. Maybe it includes the buildings, citizen, religions, and laws. Discarded methods. It is seems to contains in a book. It is compounded and amassed little by the leaders from the opinions of many different persons. It's never come so close to the truth as the simple reasoning which a man to good. So I would like to introduce discarded method, fallible teaching method here. As the children, we are governed from some times by our appetits and our teachers. These two sources were often at odds with one another. Neither of these sources was without error. Hence, it is like that the belief and judgment with which we have governed up and which we now take for granted are likely to have an admixture of errors. So discarded includes the three methods here: the unreliable force of perseverance and custom, how to make a new beginning, fourth rule, how to make a new beginning. It's also included in the fourth rule sections. So discarded method, the need for a new beginning, how to make new beginning, as I told already, the promise of success, and here my section start. The meditation first, and the meditation, it includes the sowing the seeds of doubt. The aims as to sort out the false from the true among his opinion. One way, uh, what is wrong with this method? Meditation first, an alternative method to which, without an assessment, no less careful from opinion that are not completely certain and intuitive than I would from those that are patiently false. It includes those deceitful sense. Surely, whatever I had admitted until now as most true, I received either from the sense or throughout the senses. However, I have noticed that the senses are sometimes disparible, as we feel the sunlight, as we feel the storms, our side. Our meditation power gives us a natural beat power to animate our senses to fight with that session. If we suddenly see the storm, we our sixth sense are now start to working, and they make plan how to we face this problem that are in front of us. So it is include the power of meditation. Meditation, the straight strict look when place is in water. Sometimes large look small from a distance. Pools feel warm by contract with the ocean, but cold after a dip in the hot tub. Meditation, the sense are sometimes deceptive. Meditation includes those deceitful senses. The sense are sometimes deceptive, or it means objective. This deception take place in a very peculiar circumstances. At least for the same, they are the exception rather than the rules. These deceptions are the exception rather than rule, as the dreams we follow. If we are dreaming something in our life, it in actual fact that we think in our real life. If we suffers from any problematic conditions from the day to the period of evening, we just thinking about that, and these dreams came to our night thought. It is also the some part of the meditation. Meditation, it's not include to standing or sitting behind the some place here the silence are followed, and to just concentrate on one object. Meditation is the type where we can think where we can think about the anything. If we are sitting in the group, and suddenly we start to thinking in one section without noticing what happened in our surrounding, it is also recognized as a type of meditation. And another point, if we start to notice something, if someone speak and we just recognize his speaking point, his speaking ability, it is also the point of meditation. It gives us the strength to stabilize our mind, to stabilize our willpower in a one section. So it distributes in our body by the soul. A mind that think, pursues imagine reasons, understood doubtful efforts and wills. By the body, I just told already, the body exhibit lots of things here. If we are sitting in the group by the body, but we are not stable by our mind are thinking somewhere. Our mind power has unlimited resources to thinking and to reasoning about the any section that we wants to study and we wants to learn. It understand all that is capable of being bounded by some shapes, of being enclosed in a place, and of filling up a space in such a way to exclude any other body from it, of it being pursued to touch, sight, hearing, taste or smell, of being moved in several ways, etc. We can doubt that we have a body, we cannot be doubt that we have a mind. So as the next section, meditation, my friend shishir will explain this. I would like to explain here only the starting point here. Meditation second, it is the still seems those whose images are formed by the thoughts and which the sense themselves examine are much more distinctly known than this mysterious I, which does not fall within the imagination. So this is the section I introduce here. Meditation first, as the Descartes explained in the philosophical theory. So if I could take mistake here, so sorry for that. Thank you so much.
Hello friends, I am Shishir Chaudhary and I am here to talk about meditation. Meditation, the second part, as Hrugvi and Aniket has already told you about the meditation's first part. So what we do in meditation? In meditation, we can just arise questions or can have doubt. I can you explain this like by body, like you can have a doubt on your body that whether you are having a body or not having a body. But when it comes to soul or a mind, you can't just deny, or you just can't have a doubt on them. You simply have to accept that stuff, Like yes, you are having mind, like you don't arise question or having doubt on your mindful purpose or your soulful purpose. It's basically thing like a mind that thinks, perceives and imagines, reasons, understand, doubt, affirms and wills. And but it seems like that I cannot resist believing that corporeal things whose images are formed by the thoughts and with the sense themselves examine as much some distinctly known than the mysterious. Like I does not fall within the imagination. And like what I believe, if I'll give you the example of a wax, what I believe to know the wax, as it melts everything and changes, what remain after we have removed everything that does not belongs to the wax, like is something extended, flexible or mutable. Like the perception of the wax, the wax is neither a seeing or nor a touching, but it's nor an imagine, but it's ever thought of perceiving sense seems to rather it an inception or to the part of the mind alone. Coming to the part of the inception and perfection perception inspection and perception, like inception and imperfection are confused as it's before or clear or not distinct, or as it's a it is now depending on how closely I pay attention to things in which the piece of the wax consists. The perception that the wax is neither seems or not touching nor an imaging nor has been ever truly it perceives seems, so rather it is an inspiration of one of the part of the mind alone. But meanwhile I marvel at how prone like my mindful is filled of errors, like things within silently and without words, nevertheless I seize upon words themselves, and I nearly decide by which the ways the people commonly speaks. For we say that we speaks the wax itself, it is presented, and not that we judge to the So basically, I just want to say you just one thing, or say make you feel like understanding just one thing. Like just don't rely on the testimony of your eye. Just don't believe to the testimony that the your eye is watching. Just it is clear that we must not rely on the just on eye. It's better to listen to the reason. Like in many researches of malversants also prove that whatever you have seen, like the things which you are watching from very far, the things which are very far from you, like a very large tower is very far from you, it looks like small to you from a very large distance, but actually when you reach to it, it's different, man. It's having a different height, it's having a different width, it's all a different new whole dimension in front of you. So this is proven, just don't rely on the testimony of your I would just like to conclude it, like I have no reason to believe it, or like I am having very tremendous reasons to believe that stuff. Like what I have seen from my eyes and what is in front of my eyes may be the perfectly true, maybe it is a perfect thing, like whatever the quality makes me believe certain will also makes other beliefs too, like it possesses its certains, and sometimes it's clear distinct perceptions and have never led me to wrong. Like in simple words I can just say it like, if you are having proper reason to believe something or having proper perception about something, and you just knew about and you have visited and having just heard about something, and each and every combination of each and everything, like whatever qualities that makes you believe about a certain thing to make it a concrete concept, then it will be a proper belief of possession, and that's all.